Even though K-pop groups debut with the goal to get more Korean fans, some groups manage to get more famous internationally than they did in their home country. Luna are probably the definition of being more known overseas than they are in their home country. Before debuting, they were known as a group who had received 8 times the investment that Twice did. However, we can all agree that the popularity of these two groups in Korea don't match. While some of their songs were quite popular with the Korean netizens, they only have 4 wins on music shows. As a group, they're also not very known with the public, except for Chu, who has managed to make a name for herself. Things are different outside of South Korea though. We've all seen the Stan Luna comments, to the point that there are even non-K-pop fans who know of the group's existence. There was even a joke about how Luna's international fandom is similar to a cult based on how loyal they are to their favorite group, but the same thing doesn't apply to their fans in Korea. They also have quite a few achievements overseas that are very telling of their popularity in the West. They managed to snatch the 4th place on the Billboard World Albums chart, 19 on Heat Seekers albums, and 56 on top album sales. They also do very well with iTunes charts overseas, and even won the award of Outstanding Korean Artist at the MTV Europe Music Awards in 2018. ATEEZ have to thank the reality show that they filmed in the US before their debut for their international fame. They were initially promoted as KQ Fellas through a web series on YouTube, and managed to make Western audiences fall in love with them. If you want a small idea of how popular they are worldwide, they sold out the tickets to their first USA tour in only 30 minutes. And to think that they did that only a year after their debut. Not only that, but they also appeared on the list of the most tweeted about musicians in the United States in the 5th place, passing acts like NCT and EXO. Their fan base in South Korea doesn't even compare to their fandom size in the West, but they're slowly rising in popularity in their home country too. It won't take long before they're mentioned alongside the big groups of their generation. Dreamcatcher's uniqueness is what makes them stand out, and it's also the reason that they're hugely popular overseas. Dreamcatcher has quite a fan base in Europe and South America, but they're not all that known in their home country. Their fans believe that this is because of how different their concept is from the usual girl crush or cute concepts that we're used to seeing from the other girl groups. Their rock and nightmare comebacks have caught the attention of international fans and made them form a solid fan base overseas, but have turned the general Korean off from their music. It's a shame that as of November 2022, they've only had 2 music show wins. Even though they're still growing in South Korea, they're still on the same level as their international fame. KARD came into international fans' attention due to the fact that they're a co-ed group, which is something that we don't see very often in the K-pop industry. However, it's for a reason, and that's because co-ed groups generally tend to not do as well in Korea. They were very popular during the first generation, but their popularity fell from the generation onwards. But the fact that they are a co-ed group is what drew international fans to stan them in the first place. KARD's company, DSP Media, also mostly focused their promotions towards their international fans at the beginning of their careers and built up an English-speaking audience from North and South America while not centering their attention to domestic ones. Don't get it wrong, they're pretty well known in Korea too, but their fandom overseas is much bigger. Stray Kids. While Stray Kids have definitely started gaining more attention in Korea, they're still much more popular overseas than they are in their home country. They first got attention from the Korean general public for producing their own songs and for being under a big 3 company, but they slowly lost interest. That seems to be because their songs and sound don't appeal to Koreans as much as they appeal to international fans. But even if their songs don't chart as high in Korea, their album sales, Spotify streams, and YouTube views put them besides the biggest names in the industry like BTS, Blackpink, or Twice, and that's all to their dedicated international fandom. However, with the release of hits like Middle, God's Menu, and Backdoor, their fan base in Korea has slowly started to grow. Monsta X. This may come as a shock to most of you, but Monsta X doesn't do as well in Korea as they do internationally. Based on fans' observations, Starship Entertainment has been very inconsistent with the way that they've been promoting the group. Monsta X were promoted well in Korea when they were rookies and had a stable fan base. However, with the growth of K-pop in the West, Starship Entertainment thought that it would be smarter to push them more towards Western audiences with overseas tours and releases in English. Even though the strategy worked and they got international fame, it seems like Starship slowly started forgetting about promoting them in Asia. In addition to that, they started losing popularity in the West once Wonho, one of the most popular members in the group, departed from the group. It has come to the point where fans feel like the Korean public recognizes them for their physiques more than their music. Let's hope that changes soon, because they are way too talented and hardworking for all their efforts to go to waste. Everglow. The case of Everglow is a strange one as well. Every casual Western K-pop fan seems to know them and probably has heard at least one song from them, so how come they still aren't popular in South Korea? Despite their popularity internationally, Pirate only sold around 40,000 copies, which are pretty bad numbers for a group that's been around since 2019. They are also rarely invited to award shows, no matter how much YouTube views or Spotify streams they get. And their bad luck is that they have it all, a concept that's popular with the public, great choreographies, talented members, and good music. However, since they're under a Chinese company, they were doomed to fail with the Korean audiences from the start. Add to that the fact that they have a Chinese member who was in 2 controversies where she was accused of disrespecting Koreans, and a member being in the center of attention at all times, and you can guess why the Korean general public doesn't take well with the group. Thankfully, they have their international fan base to keep them going. GOT7. GOT7 is one of the most popular K-pop groups abroad, having concepts and songs that appeal to international fans, foreign members, and the overall charm of the members made them pretty successful amongst overseas K-pop fans. They were pretty popular in Korea too at one point, especially with Just Right, which really blew up with the netizens and was one of their most popular songs at the time, putting their name on the spot. But since they started to change their concept continuously, their popularity in Korea has declined. The members even talked about their insecurities on having a smaller fan base in Korea. In an interview for Korea Jungang Daily, JB expressed, "I've never once thought that we were lacking in talent or performance, but I think there's something to learn from Twice and how popular they are domestically." He went on, "I think we are in a vague position where we are well known but not very well known at the same time. We have to work harder to show more to the audience." The members got even more attention internationally through their very successful US tour and the fact that JYP Entertainment was very focused on promoting them more in the West than they were in Korea. The situation didn't get better once all the members left JYP because they're one of those groups where you probably know the members individually more than you know of the group. However, something seems to be working for them lately as they started getting some recognition amongst the Korean general public, so their popularity might start growing soon. The Rose. Even though bands generally don't do well with Koreans, the rock sound is very popular within the international K-pop fandom, and that's the reason why the Rose found success overseas rather than in South Korea. Though their music is very loved by rock fans, they failed to gain any traction in Korea. As one of the members Usong jokes, "I don't even think Korean people know of us." Due to the problems they've had with their company, their inconsistent comebacks, and the members enlisting one by one, they lost that little fan base they had in Korea, but thankfully their dedicated international fans are waiting for them. CLC. Even though CLC was pretty popular with international K-pop fans, this popularity didn't translate with Korean audiences, and we can all blame it on Cube Entertainment's poor management of the group. They had quite a successful debut with Pepe, which was well received by Korean audiences and gave CLC fans hope that their group would see popularity in the upcoming years. However, that didn't end up happening. After their debut, they went on a long hiatus only to come up with a comeback that didn't do well with the general public. That, combined with the hiatus, the lineup change, and the fact that other stronger girl groups debuted at the same time like Twice and G-Friend, helped the public eventually lose interest in them. They were also known for changing their concepts often, which made them popular with their overseas audience, but didn't appeal all that much to Korean listeners. Following Idol's debut in 2018, Cube Entertainment seemingly completely forgot about them and went from rarely promoting them to never promoting them at all. It came to the point where the members were more known individually than as a group. But even though the group disbanded, they still have a loyal international fan base that's showing support to the members even now. You can check out more stories about your favorite K-pop groups and idols on our website, KOOKIELIT.com. Bye guys!